then we'll see if your shield breaks. All right. So
while this is all going on, before we move on to the next one, I do continually mutter while I'm walking up and down the beach, and in doing that, I grasp my little vial around my neck, and I cast a spell on myself to make myself a little tougher, which I can do.
to make yourself a little what?
Tougher.
I suppose it's mage armor.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, you cast mage armor, I guess, on yourself, and you
mage armor on myself. Yeah.
raise up your AC.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Fia and Kronos with this parrot.
Yep. Something I was going to mention before you jumped off. That also Chris would also take a look at the nearby wreckage to see if any sort of supplies survived.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yes, same that I did. Maybe you roll better than me.
With my Sab, remember this is me you're talking about. Called it. That's my shitty luck.
Yeah. So after Fia goes in, waits, and finds it, you're like, maybe I'll have a little bit of a chance to find something. You go out there, look a bit. Other than some boards that you could use as a weapon, or maybe like an improvised shield of some sort, there just isn't. There isn't anything there.
Yeah, I figured Fia already looted everything, which is the 7 gold. But anyway, other thing I would also like to see, just like find either on the wreckage is some piece of block plank or.
Can you put Fiona to bed, Matt?
From the tree line, something that would serve as either a great club or a quarter staff, basically.
Yeah, like I said, you found the board. You could use it as a shield or like some sort of weapon. You can use it as a two-handed weapon, sure.
Yeah.
And then when you have that, it'll have again 3 uses, and its damage is like 2 to 4. So.
Yeah. So would it be actually the boars are of course so you said you just soak through this. So would it be possible just instead of relying that shitty flimsy piece of board, try to find like a sturdy branch or something off the tree line and just snap that off? Probably.
Okay.
I think we're still staying on the beach head right at the moment.
Go ahead and give me another. Actually, well, your survival check. You don't find one on the ground. There are a few on the trees near you. Give me an athletics check so you can tear one off. Okay. There was a big one that you wanted to pull down, but you weren't able to pull down that one. But however, you were able to pull off a good sturdy limb that you could probably use as a one-handed weapon. So
something like a club.
Yeah, just a regular club.
Okay.
You mentioned that there was like a footpath or some tracks leading.
Yes. It's not really a road. It's just kind of like a really well-trodden trail that leads off into the forest to your north.
I can
mention it to Fia.
Yeah, I kind of like look at Kronos and like point towards that path. Shall we have a look then?
I suppose it would be best, half-elf. There's no gain in us staying here.
Okay.
Out of character, your voice annoys me. Okay. Yeah, okay. I just Fia just shrugs and kind of like pats the little parrot on her shoulder and like carefully follows. I'm going behind Kronos. I'm following him. And
so you guys walk up the path. Does Bucky stay or does Bucky fly off in search of Ted?
He'll stay on with Fia.
Okay, so
I've got a new pet.
Walking off toward the path.
You'll probably be annoyed by him before he becomes useful.
Who knows?
Now we'll switch to Hadrid, Rennie, and Pudding on the beach.
Okay, I'll start trying to find a vantage point, a little dune or something to look up and down the beach to see if I can see anyone else who might have survived.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Here we go.
So, like,
Guys,
you climb up to one of the dunes. You're looking around, like, you think you might be able to see something off in the distance. And as you do, for some reason, you just tiptoe a little bit further, and you trip on something, fly up, dust, sand flies up all in your face. It's all in your
Oh
eyes.
god.
You just look absolutely stupid as you're trying to like crush sand on your face. You're on your back, flailing. And Riddy and Hadrid, you see the halfling guy that you were kind of intimidated by because he started casting all this weird crap on himself. All of a sudden, just trip on himself and start flailing, throwing sand up everywhere.
Well, I guess he's not that threatening after all.
Yeah.
And suddenly the ground shimmers underneath me and shakes.
Oh dear God.
I'm gonna start searching the wreckage.
Okay, go ahead and give me a survival check.
I'll help.
Okay. All right, and you're gonna assist him. Okay, so we'll go with the advantage for you then. Yeah, you. That's the wrong one. Okay, yeah, you search the wreckage. You find a few boards and stuff, crates and things that could use either as a weapon or a shield. You do find 2 floating pieces of gold. Also, but other than that, there doesn't seem to be anything of real value.
Should be more suspicious why the gold is floating.
Well, I mean, it's on the shoreline, so like.
I'm just being a
Yeah.
smartass.
Yes. Technically, it wouldn't float, but yeah.
I'm gonna flip one over to Rennie.
All right, so flip one of the gold coins over to Rennie. All right, and as you're standing there, guys, you notice that there is a small shape that's coming down the shoreline from your northeast. It's too far off to really identify what it is, but it is slowly making its way your direction.
I'm gonna climb up to where Pudding was and try to look around.
Yeah, go ahead. Give you a perception.
That's better.
As I'm
That's
passing,
much better.
look over
Yeah.
at him and say,
You look down, and there seems to be some sort of beast on 4 legs. Looks a lot like your panther. Floating, going along the wreckage, throwing the wreckage up.
Look at his face.
Throwing the wreckage up.
Aw.
Hadrid is like so happy right now. Jump off and start running.
Aw,
Alright,
that's so sweet.
Hatred takes off down the beach to the northeast,
Rennie runs after him.
and Brinny runs after him. Pudding, have you gotten up from the sand yet?
Yeah, dusting myself off, muttering under my breath. Which is something that I constantly do. I'm constantly muttering under my breath. Things like, should it be green? Should it be maybe blue? Louder or softer? And things like that. Just continually muttering.
Right. So do you go chase after them, or?
Yes, I'll chase after them. I don't want to be left alone.
So
Aw.
Pudding goes running after the rest of them heading down the beach. So eventually you 3 meet up, and it isn't Hatred. Indeed, it is your panther. It is Cuddles running down the beach. So John and Teth, you check the wreckage, found what you can. What are you gonna do now?
So Ted, do you think we should go in the direction Miss Panther went, or should we go in the opposite direction?
I would trust the beast's sense is over my own, so we'll follow the direction it went. It might be smelling things we can't quite pick up.
Well, if we die, I'm blaming you.
Fair enough.
From the
Let's go.
afterlife, I'm blaming you. All right, so both of you guys run after the direction of the panther. Eventually, after running a little ways, you see the panther comes upon. The panther has stopped, and it has joined a crowd of what is a particularly tall dragonborn, a half elvish ranger-looking guy. He's got wilderness.
Isn't he human?
A wilderness look to
Human.
him.
Why
He's
does everyone
human.
think I'm
Oh,
human?
I'm sorry, a human guy, because it looks like he's been in the wilderness a little bit, and you have this little tiny, and it's funny because this tall dragonborn is standing next to this tiny halfling about 2.5 feet tall off the ground. If you didn't see him, you almost would have stepped on him running up. He is covered in sand, however. Like he
Yeah.
dusted a bunch of it off. He's got some on his shoulders. You can tell that he took a tumble into the.
And I'm puffing really, really hard because I have to run flat out sprint just to keep up with them when they're jogging. And I'm very plump.
Yeah.
That's where all our food went.
As soon as I see other people, I just start waving and yelling, "Hey! Hey, you guys! Hey! Over here!" And
Hello?
I start approaching, and I'm like, "Survivors! Yeah!"
Well, I'm glad that you survived. It's probably not a good idea to be attracting every single dangerous thing in these woods to us.
Probably face palmed.
Did we hear that, Kronos and me?
Oh, we headed off into the forest, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you guys
Probably
went off
not.
into the forest.
Probably not. Nah.
I mean, I start calling out from the distance as I approach, because I am very happy. And when I get close to you, I stop. I stop calling out so loudly. But I am very, very happy. I have a big grin on my face, and I see. Oh, am
He's
I
so
glad
cute.
to see unfamiliar faces?
He's so adorable.
All right, so you guys meet up.
Except for Pudding. Hey, Pudding, how you doing?
Okay, I guess.
You got a little something all over you.
How does it look as though I'm doing? And I spit more sand out of my mouth. And
Well, you might have got quite an accident right there. What happened?
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, so you can tell that Pudding's been through some sort of ordeal that he just doesn't want to discuss at the moment. So you guys come back together. Thea and Kronos, you start moving down the path
Mm-hmm.
slowly. You notice that the footprints that you've been following have indeed continued to go down this well-worn path and further into the woods.
Okay. By the way, as we are traveling, I know like Kronos has like snapped the branch off a wood, but can I just have a look as we're traveling if there's like any decent sized branch I could use as an improvised weapon as well lying around? Because I'm a little bit weak. I don't trust myself to snap a branch off a wood, of a
Okay.
tree. I
Go
mean,
ahead and give a survival check.
no.
Yeah, the branches
Oh, no.
here are more like switches. Like they're like little tiny twigs that you could bend. There's nothing that.
Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna stay a little bit closer to Kronos then and
Yeah.
kind of like look around and I let him do the tracking and I keep an eye on our surroundings to see if there's anything approaching us or if I see anything like moving in the woods.
The woods seem to be pretty quiet.
Okay, cool.
Like just a peaceful, normal day. You don't even notice that there's like it's a little wet, like a storm came through, but
Mhm.
that wouldn't be totally at norm.
I also want to like put effort into keeping track where we're traveling, like in proportion to where we started from the beach. Like, do we go mostly left or right, or Do we go north, south? That's